All right guys, what's up? Welcome to Mainly Outdoors. Now the point of today's video is I really wanted to show you the truck cab camper that I built in the back of my pickup. I'm out fly fishing right now, so I have my waders on. But anyway, today I am just going to show you a quick video of the truck cab camper that I built using this SUV style hatchback that I got at a great price. And what a setup it is. So, I'll just walk you through all the basics and show you guys just a little introduction to it. So I built this all myself with absolutely zero woodworking experience. And soon I'm going to release a video showing every process and very detailed explanations of how I built it with zero woodworking experience. So you can go from just having a pickup to buying a cab and then building your own truck cab camper for a relatively cheap price. That's going to take me a little bit of time to produce a very comprehensive video of how to build something like this, but it is coming in the near future. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you subscribe below, but let's get right into it. So one of the big things about this is you can see, so I have the two major platforms. I have my sleeping surface and drawer system, and I also have this shelving unit along the side. Now, one thing I want to do is I built a floor. This floor is exactly cut to the dimensions of my truck bed. So it sits in there really, really snug. And what I've done is I've attached both of these platforms to the floor. So everything is one. And to me, that was really important because I take this truck on a lot of back roads and I don't want anything wobbling around and becoming loose. So you can tell, I mean, before this platform moves, the truck goes with it. So building this platform as a floor and then attaching everything to it really makes a sturdy structure that can move all around. It's not going anywhere. And of course this is attached as well. I mean, I can shake the truck with it. It's not going to move. This subfloor serves multiple purposes. For one, it helps me hold everything in place because all of these structures here are attached to this floor. Not only that, but you can see that there is actually space below it. So any water that actually leaks in here is going to be beneath the floor. It'll never touch these upper structures and only hurt the floor itself. So this whole thing can actually be replaced as it ages, and it is going to be the piece that ages first. But this extra drainage helps. It's going to prevent that process from happening too quickly. But when it inevitably does happen, I can take all of these structures on the top off, put in a new floor, and we're good as new. These structures are going to far outlast this bottom one. So to start out with, I mean, I have built, basically I have a bed platform here. There is a 4 or 5 inch mattress pad. I think it's 4 inch, and it's just a memory foam. This was super cheap. I just picked that up online. But since my channel, I do a lot of catch and cooks, one thing that was important is with this particular SUV cap that I picked up, what I lose is that tailgate surface. So for me, flat surfaces in camping in general are really valuable, and that was one downside of having this, but I do like it. It acts as a rain shelter, so it's a trade-off. There's goods and bad to this SUV style cap, but I did lose that flat surface from the tailgate. So as a workaround to that, what I've done is I built this pull-out drawer, and in here it's kind of a mess. I don't know where I'm going to put everything just yet. I keep all my food and cooking supplies in here. But in addition to this, I built a slide-out drawer down here. And I have a top that goes over this as well. But this acts as my cooking surface, and I covered it in a thin piece of, I forget what you call it, galvanized steel sheets or something like that, just to add extra protection to it and make cleaning a lot easier, because cleaning wood it's doable, but it's kind of difficult and you get splinters. This unit also closes, and so I can just pull this out, you know, real quick if I want to make a sandwich or something out as well. And you can see just the mess that I have in there. But this is a relatively deep storage. And that way I can just stash so much stuff in here. I got all my spices, just canned goods. Anything I'd need to cook is pretty much in here and ready to go. So this was a hard thing to build. Drawers are tricky for people who are new. So back in here, right beside the drawer, I just have this little cubby system. I've been using it to store wet things like my shoes and stuff like that. Put garbage in there. I also put my waders in here when I'm done fly fishing, just because I don't mind getting that space wet. So moving on to this side here, I built a cabinet space, and I also have a drawer below, so this just opens up. Little cabinet, keep all sorts of supplies in there. Plenty of room to stash snacks in there. So far I'm really loving it. And then below that is this drawer system I made, and I just keep fly boxes in here, my fly reels, flashlights. It's essentially my junk drawer, which to me was important to have. So I just throw all my random odds and ends that I want quick access to right in here. And I made it so it could pull out if I wanted to work on something. So this whole unit comes out, and that's how much space I have in there. I don't know, maybe 18 inches or something like that, a little more. So that's nice, and I don't have a hinge on this. I just made it tight enough so it's got a little friction catch to it. I might change that later, especially as the wood wears a little bit, but for now it's perfectly fine with me. And this isn't on a rail system like this drawer is, just because I thought the sliding was just fine, and it also gave me more space on the sides. So more or less, that's pretty much everything on the outside, just these two drawer systems, this little pull out, a cubby hole, and then my cabinet spaces over here. So let's go inside, and you can check out what I've made in here. So it is a tight fit, you know, I can't really sit up, but I don't spend much time in here. When I'm in here, I'm pretty much laying down, which is relatively comfortable. On the interior, here's that cabinet that I made. And within it, I have a couple little, I don't know what you call it, like cubby spaces. And in here, I've just been throwing clothing. I have a fly rod in there. But it's a really nice space just to keep next day's clothing and just all the random stuff that slides around. I didn't want to lose the space, so underneath here is the wheel well. And there wasn't much I could do with this, so I figured I'd cut out a pocket, and that way I can just put in my clothing and stuff like that, just have easy access to it, and keeps it from moving around. And then back here, I have the same deal, but this is a deeper pocket, so this goes all the way down. And in this particular pocket, I don't know quite what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I just store some lamps in there. That way when I go to bed, I have some kind of light. And then all kinds of other stuff. I have some clothing in there, tonic water. Haven't quite organized this space, but that is another compartment here. And then over here is my sleeping setup. So I have a 4-inch pad, and that just rests on this sleeping platform. I put a wool blanket in just for warmth. Got a 30-degree bag, and this setup was perfectly fine for 22 degrees. So I was really happy with that. But yeah, it's a good setup. I mean, I have a pillow. This isn't roughing it at all. I mean, we're talking about a 4-inch memory foam pad, a sleeping bag, blankets. I even have a sheet around it, and then of course a nice pillow. Behind it, I've been storing my fly rods, and then of course all of these windows open, which is really nice. So if I want to get some air in here, I can absolutely do that. And that's on both sides. This back window also slides down too. But anyway, so I have more storage underneath this bed. So you just lift up the mattress, and you can see that little hole. You just grab that, pull it up. And underneath I have a nice big chest storage, and I haven't even come close to filling this. So this is just a really nice big space where I can put pretty much anything. And so I basically just cut out a little hole for easy access, and I have this on latches so that way it grips a little better when it shuts. Closes nice and tight. So that's one space, and behind here I actually made an extra one, so you can kind of see how that's set up a little better on this. So you just grab that, pull it up, and I got a whole nother compartment that's just as deep, and in here I have stashed away just bagged up clothing. So in case any moisture gets in here, which it hasn't yet, I just have extra day clothing and stuff. But that's what I've done with it so far. I'm really liking this setup. The only thing is of course the bed lays on top of it. So this bed is actually perfect for me. I'm 6 foot and I sleep perfectly right to the end, almost touching the window. But that's perfect. I mean, as 6 foot, I would expect to be a little more cramped than I was, but I sleep very comfortable in this. And that memory foam pad just has me out like a light. So it's really nice. In the future, I intend to put lights up here. For now, I just have this little simple light. But yeah, that's pretty much the setup. Here is the SUV style cap I have. I bought this really cheap. I got this for $350, which is a steal of a deal. I could not pass it up. And it happens to match the color. Like, how often does that happen? And then in addition to that, I'll just pull it down for you. It does have this access door that is a camper style. So of course, if you guys are going for stealth, this might not be the way to go, because of course anyone behind me can see this guy's got a bed in the back of his truck. So clearly I'm using it as a truck cap camper. But being in Maine, half the time where I'm camping, there's no one around. I don't plan on camping in Walmart parking lots unless I have to on my drive past. But even then in Maine, there's so many back roads that you can just go into, find a little logging yard and set up camp for the night. As long as you don't start a fire, it's really not hurting anyone. So anyway, all of these lock, which is really nice. I can keep everything really nice and secure. And of course, this door also locks. And so I don't really use this. Normally I'll open the top and there's a couple handles that I can pull it down from when I go to sleep. But this would be just for quick access. So yeah, the door is nice, but I don't really use it that much. I just think that this is much easier. Pop that open. I can have access to all my food and, you know, set up this drawer to cook something up real quick. So that's typically how I use it anyway. If you have questions, comment down below. I'll try to answer them. But again, I will release a comprehensive video of the whole build process that is going to help you walk you through it if you do want to build this yourself. So thank you guys for watching. I'm Mainly Outdoors, and I'm going to see you guys in a lot of adventures going forward. So see ya.